thanks very much for dialing into the call. It's an important one, whereby we're going to get Breen, and I think later on Michael Wadding will be joining the call then as well, just to talk us through basically the rules of the underage competitions that you'll hopefully be refereeing in over the coming weeks and months. I'm sure the lads will probably have like lots of interesting little nuggets that you mightn't necessarily have known about our games, whatever, little hints and tips as well for when you're refereeing, whatever, because look, I've done a bit of refereeing myself from time to time, and in fairness, it can be quite daunting at times, whatever, but like I said, it's just a case of staying nice, cool and calm and collected, and knowing your rules, and they'll get you out of any trouble that you're in, you know. So just before I hand over to Brendan, I just want to say thanks again for dialing into the call. I hope you take something out of it, and I look forward to kind of meeting you at matches in the coming weeks and months. Okay, so Brendan, I'll just pass over to you there. So, all right.
Thanks very much, Barry. Can I see the participants? No. 1 second. Can everybody hear me?
Yeah.
Break it up just a small bit, Brendan, but it's okay. I'll say.
Okay. Just for the, I can't seem to get everybody on the. Okay. Am I okay, Barry?
Yeah, fire ahead, Brendan. Yeah, all good.
Okay. Welcome everybody. And thanks very much for volunteering to referee. My name is Brendan Breen. I did a bit of reffing here in County Waterford. I must say it was one of my most enjoyable experiences in the GA, contrary to what you'd hear about. It's a very important role in our games. I think that I'm now coaching, involved in the town and country. I'm a part of the committee, and it's been the biggest problem area for us in terms of getting referees. And I suppose getting you together is a huge plus for us, because it's a burden on all coaches trying to organise referees, and the fact that you've put yourselves forward is fantastic, and it's something that I know when I'm speaking on behalf of all coaches, we really appreciate that you're taking the time and effort to do this. If I could get a flavour from all of you, sorry, guys, I'm just trying to, I can't see anybody for some reason. Is there a reason behind that, Barry?
I'm not sure. I'd say you're on an iPhone, Brendan, are you?
Yeah, I am. Yeah, all right. I assume everybody's there.
Yeah. So normally, if you just on the app, normally you should just you should be able to just swipe the photo left or right or there to be able to actually see.
I'm doing that, and I can see all the people in the boxes, but they're all none of them are, no images are appearing.
Yeah. They might have their videos turned off, I'd say.
No, it's just a bit surreal. Anyway, I'll drive on. Can everyone just say hello, just to make sure that I am being heard? Can you see them, Barry?
Yeah, I can see there. I can
see their names.
10 or 12 on the call. They just have the microphones off and video off. So yeah.
Okay, that's fine. I'll just drive by. So I'll do this as if I'm talking to an audience. So thanks very much again, lads. As I was saying to you there, as a coach, it's something we really appreciate, the fact that you're putting yourselves forward. Just on a practical side of things, I'm just going to go through a few pointers which I found helpful during my time refereeing. And what I'll do is, as I'm going through I have about 9 points made out. I might stop after maybe every 3 points, and I'd invite you, anyone who wants to come in and just ask me a question. And I suppose you'll only really get benefit out of this if you ask questions, right? And there's no such thing as a stupid question. I mean, everybody, nobody knows everything. And I suppose if you ask questions, the other people on the call will learn from the questions. They might have the exact same question, or they might even have thought of the question, but it might prove useful. So I'd appreciate it if you did ask questions. And as I said, we're here to learn. I suppose the first thing I would say to anybody is come prepared, because we're all busy, and the last thing you want to do, you've left the house, you arrive at the field, and next thing you realize you forgot something. kind of flusters some people. You kind of it puts you're on the back foot before you even start. So one thing I'd always do, I hope you can see this, I just have a little box, Tupperware box, okay, and in it I would have I'd have my equipment. So like I'd always have 2 watches. Now they're spare. I'm sure you all have perfectly functioning watches, but you know, okay. The games are 20 minutes aside. Roughly after 10 minutes, we stop for a water break. That's new COVID regulations. But personally, I used to always have 2 watches because for the very reason that sometimes I leave one running and half time, it's human nature. Or you could forget to turn off the clock or forget to start at the start of the second half. These things happen. But if you've the other watch running, you can roughly guess, you know, I took 10 minutes there for half time, just add on to 10 minutes, and you're going to be thereabouts in terms of time. So it's just a little trick of the trade. I'd always have a second watch. You'll get away with one, no problem. And you have to remember that this is under 11 and 12. This is not the All-Ireland. So if you get something wrong, there's no one going to shout at you. And don't be afraid to make mistakes, as I said to you. The second thing I would suggest to anybody, and it was Michael Wadden told all the referees this, buy a good whistle. There's a whistle here called a Fox 40. And Michael Wadden has refereed All-Ireland finals, and he said it can be heard in Croke Park when there's 80,000 people. You can buy them in any of the sports shops, you buy them online. And I would always have 2 whistles because you might have a younger brother or sister at home, or in my case, a 6-year-old who likes to blow the whistle, and sometimes I go to the box and one of them's gone, but I always have the backup. So I'd always have 2 whistles in the box. It's just some small bit of kit that you need to be a referee. We have match cards and stuff like that, but like as I said, these aren't really that competitive games. A blank piece of paper will suffice. Write out the 2 teams on the piece of paper, and a thing to remember as well. You know, there's a lot going on when a match is being played, and one thing I'll always tell any referees, when you're recording scores, I'd have goals and points, and I'd have the team's name. So I'd have one team at the top, my club, Stradbally, goals, points, and then whoever we're playing, their name, goals, points. And for every goal, so if I said, I hope you can all see this now, but I'll just show you here what I mean. Goals, points. So if I was recording 2 goals and 4 points, the way I would do it is 2 lines and 4 lines. Hope you can see that. And the reason we do that is it's very hard when you're recording, when you're writing down scores. Was that point number 4 or was it number 5? If it's just a stroke of a pen every time there's a score, you can go back and tot it up at the end of the match. And remember, your scorecard is the only scorecard that counts. Just because one manager has a different score and another manager has a different score, it's irrelevant. It's what's on your card at the end of the day. You may have disallowed a point. If I'm going to disallow a point or a goal, I would just scratch through it if I've written it down. I just put a line through it like that, so I know I disallowed it. But this is the official record of a match, is your record, and you stand over what you put down it. As I said to you, this is not the All-Ireland, okay? So, and my experience, this is my 3rd year now involved in town and country, you're going to get very little hassle from managers. Managers understand, we appreciate the fact that you're putting yourselves forward, and we know we need to protect you. And we'll talk about parents in a few minutes. So I'd always come with my 2 whistles, my 2 watches. I'd have 2 pens, because a pen or a pencil are even better. If you have 2 pencils, small pencil, and have a spare one because the tip might break, very handy to write out. And it's also easy to rub out the score after the match. Have your paper, have a coin for the toss. Or if you forget, don't panic. Ask the kids, rock, paper, scissors, job done. And they'll have no problem doing that, okay? So, as I said, go away now before the first match. Get your little Tupperware box organised so you're not chasing your tail when it comes to getting ready to go to a match. You're not provided with official kits, but, you know, pair runners. I find runners, you're all young and healthy. Pair boots, pair runners, shorts, and go with your whistle and be ready for business. And I suppose the key thing is, I have a note here, show up on time. You know, the thing you have to remember now, especially with the town and country, we're in a situation where COVID is a problem in the community, and fields we're back training, and every team, every club has loads of people back. Everyone wants to play. Everyone wants to try and get out and get fit. So there's matches on every night in every field. So we need to start our games on time, and it's kind of it's very important that the referee shows up in advance of the match. So what I used to do is I'd show up on time, right? I'd ask to speak to both managers. You know, it's a lot for youngsters like yourselves to go speak to managers, but the manager's going to come and talk to you anyway. And I would say, I'd explain to them what you expect. I'm here to referee a match. Please, you have a word with your parents. I don't want to be given out to while I'm here to facilitate a game. That's all you have to say to managers. Straight away, you've assumed control. All right? It's a big thing for a young person to say to an adult, but refereeing is very good for you in terms of confidence stuff. It helps develop confidence. And it's something that you should look to develop in any of you. There's regulations in respect of where the parents should stand, and each of the clubs have got that. So they have to be back 10 foot from the sideline. So all the managers will enforce that. That's not something that you need to concern yourself with. If there's a thing where there was an overzealous parent or whatever, you don't go argue with them. You bring it to the attention of the manager and say, they're supposed to be back 10 feet. Can you sort it out, please? Don't get involved. That's not what you're there to do. You're there to facilitate a game. What I would say to you is talk to the manager beforehand. Say, listen, we're here to referee a good game. I hope you all respect the rules of the game. And could you have a word? If you have any noisy parents or anything like that, please have a word in advance. And just tell them the match is going to be 20 minutes aside. We're going to have a water break because of COVID at half time in each half. So that's 10 minutes in, a water break. Second half, 10 minutes in, a water break. Has anyone any questions? No, that's 3 points I've just covered there. I know I've done a lot of talking. And don't be afraid to come in here with a question. To say no.
How long would you have for a water break?
That's a good question, Luke. I'd say you judge it yourself. 5 minutes. Like
just so they finish up, like.
Yeah, because exactly. And if they're taking too long, just blow the whistle. Don't shout or roar, just blow the whistle. Some managers like to take advantage of 10 minutes and explain everything to the kids. That's fine, but there's a time limit, you know. Just blow the whistle. Let's go, lads. You're in control. Good question, Luke. Anybody else?
Right. Cheers.
Okay. I just want to talk to you now about the kids themselves, right? You're talking about children that are 9, 10 and 11, between the under 11s and 12s, okay? Because we've put on this league and we've worked hard to get it going, you know, it's great for kids at that age to be back playing. And you have to remember, no more than yourselves, these kids have been cooped up for a long time, right? So I suppose anxiety is still out there with a lot of people. You're there to facilitate a game. You know, kids get upset, especially at that age. Something might happen during the course of a match or whatever. Be the kind of caring referee that goes over and has a chat with them. Don't be afraid to stop the match and let a child, you know, if a child cries or whatever, give them a moment to themselves. Say, listen, take your time. I'll start when you're ready. You know, things like that. And they appreciate that. Managers appreciate it and parents appreciate it. So remember who you're reffing. It isn't an All-Ireland final, but they're young kids. And on the other end of the spectrum, if you have a cheeky kid or whatever like that, just have a word. Say, listen, play the game. I don't want to hear you again. If it gets a bit more than that, have a word with the manager. Say, manager, we'll have a chat with number 6. Manager, we'll have a chat with him. That's it. There's going to be incidents where children come together, like they're competitive, they're 11 and 12, they're mad for action. You know, if you see something, just blow the whistle, give the free, and move on. And I will always tell you, move away from it. Just whenever you give the free, point where it is and move up the field. What generally tends to happen, the kids will take the free, the roaring and shouting will stop, they'll get on with it. You know, there's it only lasts for a second, and it might take you a bit of while to get used to that. And also even blowing the whistle. I found that hard at the start, you know, oh, should I blow now or shouldn't I? What I'd say to every one of you is this: trust your instincts. If you think it was a free, then it was a free. Don't mind the experts on the line. If they're that good, they'll be volunteering like you. Trust your gut. is usually right, okay? And if we get it wrong, we get it wrong. Nobody's immune from making mistakes, and you certainly won't be the first and won't be the last referees either. If you have a child who likes to rant and won't let things go, you have some kids like that, just let them rant. Get on with the game. Eventually they'll run out of steam and they'll get back in the game. As I said to you, blow the whistle, go with your gut. Don't listen to the sidelines. You'll get no problems from children, and invariably the management in the town and country are very good because we have them well drilled to respect referees. But you do get the old, what we call the soccer mom syndrome, where you have Mammy at the sideline, my Johnny, who don't touch my Johnny, or Daddy who thinks it's an All-Ireland final. You just have to let that go. Just ignore them. Their noise, nothing more. Don't take it to heart. Ignore them, because if they're any good, they've been there themselves. You're the person putting yourself forward. And remember that's what the Waterford GA appreciate, people like you standing up. Whatever decision you make, good, bad or indifferent, stand over it. That's 100%. You didn't make it with any malice. You made a genuine decision, and just, that's my decision, end the story. And as I said, I have a note here that said, don't be afraid to make a mistake. I'd say that to anybody that's willing to take up the whistle. I have a little note here as well. It says, and I have it in exclamation mark, show up. If you commit to taking a game, okay, it's important that you're there, right? There will be the odd time where something might happen. That happens to us all. But remember this, when you're refereeing a match, there's going to be 30 children and their kids. Remember now, back when you were 11 and 12 and you were buzzing to go to the game, there'll be 30 children there waiting for you, okay? There'll be managements, there'll be parents, and they're delighted to see you. And I tell you, you're worth every penny of the €30 again that you're getting. Just in the back of your mind, if something is going to come up that you can't make or whatever, try and give the management as much notice as possible that you won't be able to make it. But please don't accept the game if you think that you can't make it, because there's nothing worse than if I'm standing on the line going, myself and the other manager looking at each other, will you ref it? No, will you ref it? Eventually, it's usually the home fella has to ref it, and then no matter what I do, I'm wrong. So just let us know, and that's the biggest thing. Reliable people is what we want, and if you you'll make a name for yourself in the town and country. If you get a reputation for being a reliable referee, you're going to get plenty of games. There's fellas who are going to try. People, your friends, are going to be looking for summer jobs, going to be looking for this. They're not going to earn as much money as you are by doing the games that you're doing, and for less hassle. And you will develop. It's like anything. You'll develop your confidence. The more games you do, the better you get it. The more comfortable you become at refereeing. And you'll be amazed how much you will develop your confidence, how much better you'll get, how you spot things. Like a simple thing. And I never played hurling. I'm a Kerry man originally, and I never played hurling. Catching the ball 3 times, being a free in hurling, I just get into the habit of when they catch it, I go 1, taps it on the hurl, catches it again, 2, and if he does it the 3rd time, whistle's ready to go. You'll develop little things. There's no marks or anything like that in the town and country, but a little trick I used to do for a mark, before the keeper takes the kick out, I'd stand in the 45 and have a mental note. If it goes past this line and he catches, I'd blow the whistle. So they're the little, you all know how to play hurling football. Just go with your gut. You're there to let the game flow. If there's a bit of argy-bargy between teams, I would certainly say to you, blow the whistle whenever you see a foul. Don't let it develop. Take the sting out of the game. You're the person in control. You're the person with the whistle. Don't be overawed as well, because you're hearing a lot of information coming out of my mouth. At the end of the day, it's just a game. You know how to play it. You definitely know how to ref it. The rules, I think they've all been emailed to you. I might just go through a few of them with you. Has anyone any questions now at this point? Everyone okay?
All good, Brendan, yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. Am I going too fast, Barry?
No, you're going grand now.
Yeah. I just wanted to go through a few things with you. Playing rules for football, right? A spectator free zone would be set up at all matches. where a second sideline will be placed 3 metres, that's 10 feet, outside the pitch sideline. Parents and supporters must remain outside the 3 metre designated sideline area for players and mentors from the end line to end line. So the sidelines, they have got to be back 10 metres on both sidelines, okay? Sorry, there is visitors in the house. This will ensure that players and mentors do not need to encroach in the pitch in order to see the game, as is necessitates so players and mentors have space to operate, warm up, without supporters blocking the way. So if anyone says, I want to stand there, say, no, we need that space for players to warm up and keep using COVID as your excuse. I need you back. But again, I probably wouldn't even get into that debate with them. I'd say it to the management. And in fairness to most managers in the town and country, they're going to be spot on. All games are strictly 11 aside. Unlimited substitutions in all games, so you don't have to worry about substitutions. The managers can roll them on and roll them off as they want. Square ball rule does not apply, so you don't have to worry about that. Solo limited to 2 hops and two solos. You can't have consecutive bounces. 45s to be taken from the centre of the field, 30 metres from the goal. So the 45-metre line is not marked. So again, judge 30 metres. It's not an exact science, so don't worry about it if you get it wrong. All frees, including 45s and goal kicks, can be taken from the hand. Remember that. A player may not score direct from a kick out. Goalkeeper may not be charged in his goal area, and games are 40 minutes in duration. And remember our 10-minute water break. Just in the rules of hurling, again, the spectator free zone, 10 foot from each sideline. All games are strictly 11 side, unlimited substitutions. Square ball rule does not apply. A player may solo the sliotar on a hurley once for a maximum of 8 steps in any one possession. The player may take the usual 4 steps before solo again and 4 steps after so a maximum of 16 steps in total. So is everyone clear on that one? That's very important now in the hurling. So I can take my 4 steps, tap it on the hurl, 4 steps, then tap it back on the hurl, 4 steps. That's 16 steps. I've got to get rid of it at that stage.
So it's only one solo, is it?
Yeah. 65-metre free to be taken from the centre of the field. So if there's a 65, again, like in the football, it's from the centre of the field. Player may not score direct from a puck out, and games, again, are 40 minutes in duration. So I allow for your 10-minute water break. Pitch dimensions, okay, not really an area that you're going to have to concern yourself with. But just if there's a dispute between managers, the pitch isn't big enough or it's too big, it's 100 metres by 60 metres is the pitch. Okay, I think we'll get the lads will email you on the regulations anyway. Generally speaking, if your club pitch's maximum size is 145 by 90, putting the portable goals on both 20-metre lines will give you 105. Bringing the sidelines in 15 metres from each side and 30 metres from one side. If there's only 10 metres between the 65-metre lines on your club pitch, then put the goals on the 20-metre line will give you 100 metres in length. Look, the coaches will have that marked out before you ever even arrive at the field. But if there's a dispute, that's the measurement. And at the end of the day, it's your call. If you tell them move out the sideline, they'll move it out. If they, you won't, that won't even be an issue, but you just need to know the dimensions of it. And of course, they use the portable board and no goals. You're all familiar with those ones. Is there anything else now that I need to cover? So yeah, the home club appoints a neutral qualified Go Games referee. Both clubs pay the expenses of €15 each directly to the referee before the commencement of the game. I know it's a hard thing to go up and ask somebody for money, and you know some people are better than others, but you are entitled to that money. You've shown up. Personally, I always pay the money up front because I know what it is to be a referee, and €30, you're worth every penny of it, lads, and don't be afraid to ask for it. And as I said to you, put yourself forward for as many games as you can. We'll try and get you as many games as we can. You're going to be in big demand. And the more you do, have a bit of confidence in yourselves. I'd say after 10 matches, all nervousness, you'll have experienced a lot at that stage. and it could be water off the duck's back to you. But I suppose if you have a bad experience in the first 1 or 2 matches, I wouldn't give up straight away. I would say to yourself, just persist. Give yourself at least 5 games, right? And make an honest assessment of it then. Because just because you 1 or 2 bad experience doesn't mean you're not going to get enjoyment out of it. Personally, I got great enjoyment out of it. I went to every club around Waterford. I met some great people. Had some great times on the pitch. Sometimes the players have great crack with you. Other times they'll give you an earful. But at the end of the day, away from it, people always shake a hand. That's GA. It's heat of the moment stuff. But if you have any bad experiences, and this is very important, we would appreciate it if you'd either contact myself or Conor Mulhall. Our details will be on an email. And it's very important that your experience should be a positive one. And we'll ensure if you have any questions or any something you want to bring to our attention, do not be afraid to do so. That's what we're here for. We're here to support you. My number will be on an email that Conor will probably send out to all of your own. And I'm available mostly every day. Even if you leave a message, I'll ring you back. I'm there to support you. You might have a question about a decision you made. You might want to report something that was said to you or something that you witnessed. We'll tell you how to deal with it. Invariably, you won't have to deal with anything. Myself and Conor are sorted out anyway. And that's what we're there for. A very important thing as well, if somebody says something they shouldn't have, okay, that might be somewhat contentious, if you can, just write it down. Contemporaneous notes are the biggest thing ever. I don't think it'll be something that any of you will have to do, and hopefully it won't. But if something merits it, please write it down. You don't have to show them. You can just tell us. But at least you say, I made these notes at the time. A very important thing as well, guys, is that you will text the results of your game to Conor Mulhall. His number will be on an email that you'll receive. And it's vital that we have that, because you remember, these are children, 10, 11, 12 years of age. This game means everything to them, right? You're the referee in the middle. You'll send it in. And as I said to you earlier on, what's on your piece of paper is the results, not what the manager says. And we'll be going by what you said. You're willing to put yourselves forward, and we'll take you at your word. So there's no issue there. And remember, you're the person recording the score. The scores are published weekly in the newspaper, and it's something that the kids really look forward to. There's a wall planner after going out this year. Conor Mulhall got it printed up. It's very good. All the matches are on it. And what I'd say to you is, from your perspective, develop a relationship with managers in clubs that are close to where you're living, and they will then get to know you, and they will ring you regularly, and you'll have from now to the end of this, whenever October, and you'll have plenty of matches. I'd say to you this one, enjoy it, be a positive influence on the game, go there with a good attitude, and that'll generally carry you through. We're all different personalities, okay? But you remember one thing, don't get involved with anybody. You know, me, I can be quite outspoken, but sometimes I have to learn to, if I need to say something, I'll say it to myself later on, just be consistent in what you're doing. But as I said to you, you'll enjoy it. You'll see kids. To them, it means the world. So you being there is a big thing, because you're making it happen. You're the neutral ref coming in. I just have a little note here, is at half-time, if you have an issue, don't be afraid to speak with the manager and stop it from developing. So, for instance, an example would be if I had a child who was angry with another child in the opposition team, and they're going at it first half, have a word with 2 managers, lads, because you talk to 9 and 12, just make sure there's nothing develops here. And you're taking the sting out of the tail, you know. Just basically, that I've kind of ran out of things now to say, just except to welcome you to the refereeing club. It's an enjoyable club to be a part of. Are you all ready for reffing this week?
Yeah.
Have you all got fixtures this week to ref?
No, I won't be able to ref now for a couple of weeks.
Well, that's fine. There's plenty of matches. I know that clubs are. There's a game in Youghal. We're playing in Youghal on tomorrow night. I know that might be far away from somebody, but if someone was available, there's a game there. There's a game in Abbeyside. I'm sure they've probably been appointed. The management have rang at this stage. But if what we'll start doing is we'll start sending out if you when we email ye with the rules and stuff like that, if you could email back in the clubs that are closest to you, we will which clubs you prefer to ref in. We can let those managers know, and they will contact you then when they have matches. Is that fair enough?
Yep.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that will help you. You're not going to go east and west. Travel the length and breadth of the country, but do what you can do. I mean, not every one of you are driving, so don't commit to a game unless you've spoken to somebody who can drive you there. Do you know what I mean? Because there could be distance between matches, things like that. Check with the person whom you're going to get a lift with. Has anyone any questions? I've done a lot of talking there, and I'm kind of used to a bit of interaction.
Is
what's the email
Dubs
to message you?
Right. Who's first?
Colin?
Colin.
What's the email to message you about the preferred clubs?
I'll get Conor Mulhall to or through Owen Brannock. We'll send you out an email, and on that we'll have your list of preferred clubs. That is the clubs that you're nearest to. If you write them in, that I'd like to referee in this club, and this club, because I can make those games. Then what we'll do is we'll give your number to the managers, and as it's up to the manager to organise a referee. At least we're saying to them then, look, these three guys are just guarding this. They're living nearby. They're willing to do matches. They'll ring you. If you can do it, you can do it. If you can't, there's no hassle. There's no problem if you have to miss a match. But if you commit to a game, please show up. That's the big thing. And if you can't show up because you've committed, just ring the manager and let him know. That's all you have to do. There's no blame policy. You're not doing anything wrong, but just let them know.
Brendan, can I just come in here? Owen Brannock here. Can I just come in on that as well? I know there's, you were saying about Conwell Hall. There's a couple of the people on the call here are down in the east as well. So don't worry, you won't be expecting to go all the way up to Abbeyside. There's just in case. I know you're obviously involved in the county country. So Tina Gleeson and John Quinn are looking after the City League as well. So those are the people who are down around the east of the county. They'll be getting matches from Tina or John or myself, and yourself and Barry and Connor will be looking after the ones up the west. So just if you have people who are city based on the call, don't worry too much. You won't be asked to go more than, we've kind of said we won't ask people to go more than 20 minutes from their own house if at all possible, just to keep people local, like you were saying there, Brendan. Yeah, that's all we can expect of you guys. Just to let us know what suits you, and you'll get phone calls. And if you're consistent and you're showing up and you're honest, you'll have no problem. Your problem will be, can I ref all these matches? Who else? Someone else had a question there.
Brendan, what's the story with like penalties and all in the matches? Is there any penalties? No,
there's no. I'm writing that on him. There's no penalties.
Penalties don't exist. Penalties don't exist in goal games.
Yeah,
and they're all frees from. Well, there's no 21 metre line either, so it's free.
Whatever you say,
about 21 metres out from the goal.
Oh yeah. Depends.
Yeah. I was going to say something, but maybe I won't.
I know.
And there's no. Just to clarify as well, there's no cards as well.
Yeah.
Just in case anybody's there, kind of going the first night, kind of going, "Where's my yellow and red card?" Obviously, in a situation like Brendan would have mentioned earlier on, whereby if you're dealing with a player whose behaviour is completely out of order and has gone completely past the point of him being controlled, obviously then in that scenario, you're not saying to the player to get off the pitch. You're going over to the manager saying, listen, he needs to be replaced, or you need to have a word here to get him to calm down.
And what I'd say in that one, if he was really, really out of order to the point of where you can't, just say to the referee or say to the manager, I'm asking, take him off the field, or we can't continue like this. That will not, I hand on my heart, that can happen. But we can't allow someone who's going to do something if you feel he's going to do something to somebody, but that's the chances of that happening are slim. I can tell you from experience, the children, the players, even up to teenagers, any match ever, I never had an issue with players. It's usually the mammies on the sideline. But aside from that, we'll get over that. You'll be fine. Just have a word with the management. Let them know you're the boss. I want this guy gone. You can bring on another player. 100 times out of 100, they'll all do it. There's no problem there. Anybody else?
Do the managers appoint umpires or?
No, well, that's a very good question, because I often find that, umpires can be a dangerous animal, right? They could be a father of a child. I've had some experiences. Try and look for one from each club, right? If they don't give you, don't get bogged down in it. It's not a big pitch that you won't see it. But at the end of the day, if they don't give you an umpire, right, and you decide it's a point or it's a wide, that's the decision. You gave them an opportunity to put somebody there. And if they put somebody there who's blatantly flagging a wide when it should have been a point, says, ask them to leave. I'll do it from here. And, at the end of the day, if they contest anything, you say, listen, I put somebody there. He was acting out of order. I took charge of the situation. I'm the boss. End of story. Don't dwell in it too much. And that's a very good question, because it happened to me a lot when I was refereeing that clubs, no one likes to be the umpire. They all want to be standing on the sideline telling the manager what to do, especially the fathers of the kids. Ask them to stand behind the goal. No way. So just say to them, if a player gets out to you because it was a wide or it was a point, say, sorry lads, I asked your club to put somebody there. They didn't. That's my decision. Move on. And that usually quietens them. They get on to their manager then. Just watch out for umpires who slow down the ball going back to the keeper because their team are ahead. Allow for a little bit of time if that happens, or if they're deliberately slowing down their own kick out, tell them hurry it up. It happens. It can happen, but just go with your gut instinct. You've all played the game. You know what you're doing. It's 20 minutes aside. Be fair to the kids, and just stick by your decision. Anybody else with a question there? Everyone all happy enough? I'm just trying to see now if there's anything else. Just player. No. Has anyone any concerns or fears or worries about taking a match? Have you all refereed a match before?
Yep.
You've all refereed at some level. All right. So look, you know what to expect. I suppose what I would say to you before I wrap up is, that's the whistle, right? That decides everything. It starts the match and it ends the match. When you blow it, one thing I found at the start, I wasn't afraid. I was kind of afraid to blow it hard. But remember, there's a lot going on. There's a lot of noise coming in from the sideline. A player is talking to his own players and everything. When you blow it that it can be heard outside of the ground. Everyone then knows you're the boss. And just remember that. When you're calling them in, blow it hard. When you start the match, blow it hard. When there's a free, especially if things get heated and there's people are roaring and shouting, blow it bloody hard. And I'll tell you, that quietens a lot of them. The whistle is your friend. No, that's it. Owen, are you still on the call there?
I am, Brendan. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Barry's still there as well. I think, Barry?
I am, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if I have anything else. Is there anything else you want me to cover, Barry, or are you happy enough?
I don't think so, Brendan. No, I think you kind of covered everything there. And like, in fairness, as before Brendan kind of signs off, what I like about what Brendan has done tonight is he's kind of, rather than going through 87 PowerPoint slides and boring everybody to tears, he's kind of given his own personal experience in how he found refereeing and the enjoyment that he kind of got out of it. Like, there's no one coming along saying that it's the easiest job in the world, but it's definitely a very satisfying job if everything kind of goes well. And if you like, I didn't referee that many matches in Town and Country now, but the ones that I did, if it was a tight game and it went well, and I felt that I got all the big calls right. Like, leaving the field is, you get some sense of satisfaction out of it. So what I like about what Brendan did there, like I said, he told you the important stuff that you kind of need to remember. I know it's kind of a good bit of information to take in, but Brendan kind of presented in such a way that you should hopefully remember a lot of the hints and tips that he gave. Like, I always say this to coaches, and I always say this to referees, and it echoes something that Brendan said earlier on. People will only ever take you seriously if you give them a reason to kind of believe in them or believe in you. So that's going back to arriving on time for the match, looking the part. So you're not going to rock up to a game in a Barcelona jersey and a pair of Bermudas or whatever. You know what I mean? There's nobody expecting you to wear the full refereeing kit for a town and country game or a city league game. But at the very least, come along looking professional and looking like you know what, I'm here and I'm going to do this as best as I can, and I'm going to make sure that I give my best effort for the 40 minutes of the game. You will make mistakes. Same as if we're playing a game, you're going to make the odd mistake. What I would say is the mistake is actually immaterial. It's actually how you react to the mistake is the big thing. So if you feel like you gave a wrong call at one stage, or if you feel, do you know what, I wasn't overly sure whether that was over the bar or not, if you're 50-50 about a score in particular, absolutely back yourself 100%. And as Brendan has said earlier on, in fairness to him, in a situation whereby if a club does have a gripe about a decision that you made or whatever, we will always have your back. Unless it's an absolutely, totally egregious, intentional mistake that you made, both the town and country and the city league committees, I'd say, will have your back in that regard. That we will always put the opinion of the referee above the opinion of a manager that might feel slightly, oh, do you know what, he got that call wrong, or this call wrong, or she got that call wrong. Their opinion don't matter. The best referee in the world, they would say, they could criticise you there. So, like I said, take what Brendan has said on board. Give it the time that it needs, the few games, whatever. Like, definitely Brendan's thing about having at least 5 games before you make up your mind about how you, like, if you go in after 5 matches, you'll have experienced a huge amount, because you'll have probably tight games and you'll have one-sided games or whatever. So take everything that Brendan said on board or whatever. And like I said, treat the job seriously. There's very, very few jobs out there where you'll get a nice handy €30 at your age for 40 minutes work. Like, calling a spade. I mean, you know, obviously we're not saying that everybody's coming on and getting involved in refereeing because they've a deep found love from when they were 6 years of age to become a referee. But it's great to be able to do something whereby you get a few bob in your pocket, you do the job well, and mentors and players come away after a game going, do you know what, that's a really good referee there. He or she did a great job. So thank you very much, Brendan. I'll hand back to you there, just if you want to sign off or anything.
I will. Thanks, Barry, and thank all of you for coming on the call tonight. I'm delighted that I got the opportunity to speak to you. Barry touched on a few vital points there. You know, I suppose we wouldn't have matches. Those kids, think of those children, they would not have matches if you didn't volunteer to come forward. You're worth every penny that you're going to be paid. If you do 4 matches a week, it's 120 quid. You'll enjoy your weekends with that. You know, put yourself forward for as many matches. It's exercise as well. That's something that's overlooked. And what I miss about refereeing is it's an hour. You have a Fitbit on you, whatever. Challenge yourself. Can I get up and down the field? You know, it'll help you. You're getting paid to exercise. There's many jobs that are going to do that for you. Don't forget to text in the results. Okay, I'll talk to Owen and Connor after this. We'll get you all an email and talk to John Quinn down the city. Text in, because the kids, it's very important. We're trying to promote the game. They see the result in the paper, you know, and you're part of that. If there's a photo at the start of the match, stand in and take it, you know, and really give yourself an opportunity here. Stick with it for as long as you want, but minimum of 5 matches to give yourselves a good grounding as to, am I making the right decision to continue here or not? You will have some bad experiences, but I'd say to you, rise above it and enjoy the rest of the year. And thanks very much for coming on tonight.